in his belly. You always, like you say, you see both sides of it. You see the fiery, the temper, the arguments he has out on track on slowing down laps. But then whenever he gets his podium last season, then you see what it means to him. So he puts his heart and soul into it. He's a family man. He has enjoyed the Indonesian fans here. I'm not sure if you follow him on social media. He did offer up his riding kit if he got 1 million fans on Instagram after the weekend.
Good ruse, wasn't it?
I'm not sure if he quite got there, but yeah, the Indonesian fans they really embrace all these athletes, all the MotoGP riders. So yeah, it would be nice to see a race going underway here, as Aleix said. For everyone who's made the effort to be here today, to not see MotoGP bikes on track, it will be a massive shame.
And it would also be nice, wouldn't it, Sylvain, after all those years, as Aleix said, of racing in this championship, to see him get a win this year.
Yeah, I think he deserves it now. You know, he's been working hard. He took this project on. He was at Suzuki for a few years, and he did well. Did a pole position, and he was fast, challenging Maverick at the time. Was Maverick Vinales his teammate, and then he went for Aprilia, that project where, you know, starting project. So they were way off. You know, they were a long way away, and step by step they've worked together. They went through, you know, some difficult moments, but they're almost there now. You know, so he got this podium in England last year in Silverstone, and he's also, Aleix is working very, very hard on his physical condition. He's constantly on his bike, very dedicated, and it's nice to see that, because on one hand he's got that team Aprilia that is still going up and working really, really hard, and on the other hand he's putting the work as well.
It's interesting, isn't it, the different methods of training that these boys use. You've got Aleix, who cycles a lot, and he's pin thin. There's no body fat as there isn't on any of them, but there's also no strong muscle. I noticed he was struggling to pick up the bike.
He couldn't even nearly pick the bike up, though. You know, like, it makes you wonder if he's a fraction too weak because of, like, his obsession, because it's an obsession. He loves cycling. He'd sort of like to be.
You should be able to pick your own bike up.
Exactly. He wasn't even close, was he? There's one thing, he won't be doing any 24-hour races, because when you do a 24-hour race, that's part of it, isn't it? You have to pick your bike up.
What are you saying? You've got to be strong and fat to do 24 hours?
Strong.
Let's go back down to the grid and talk to the other Espargaro, because that's with Paul.
I certainly am. Paul, it's been a difficult weekend, to say the least, for you, after what had been an encouraging testing here at this circuit. Obviously not getting the feel for the tyres. What are your thoughts now as you look out onto the track?
Well, when it was starting rain, you never know what can happen on wet conditions, but for us was a little bit pain release, because we were suffering a lot this weekend with these old casings in the tyres, and especially after Mandalika test, we had big hopes of this weekend, and we thought that we could fight for the victory. Not easy, but in a correct way, not suffering so much, and we face a completely different situation. So, you know, the rain gave us a little bit of hope, but, you know, it's on rain, you cannot predict anything. It's kind of lottery, so we will wait till see if it stops and we can go.
I imagine the mood changed somewhat as well in the garage after seeing that crash from Mark this morning. Have you managed to speak to him at all?
Not yet. But yeah, as you all have seen, we are suffering a lot with the rear tire. We are spinning so much in the acceleration, just on the way of touching the throttle. The rear wheel just coming around to the front wheel, and especially on the fast corners in the entry, we do not have the rear attacked to the ground. So yeah, we are suffering quite a lot, and yeah, maybe this rain it's a new story for us, but anyway, whatever is going to happen, we are going to try and we are going to fight hard.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Paul Espargaro, who had he had a great Qatar, didn't he? A great start to the season. Looking ahead, where could he get to?
Well, he looks like that bike is much better suited to his riding style. It's sort of more, they're sort of focusing on getting a lot more grip on the rear. So it's looked absolutely fantastic for him right up until this weekend, unfortunately. And I know we've only done one race so far, but in all the pre-season tests, Paul was fast, and he was incredibly fast here, actually. But it's just, when Michelin brought the different carcass to deal with the higher temperatures, it's just not worked for him. And actually, he's dealing with it in the correct manner of, OK, it's not working this weekend, and let's get through it. Let's salvage as many points as possible, whilst the other side of the garage is on the way to hospital. So, yeah, it's you've got to 21-round championship. If you can get points in them all, if you can be inside that top 10, you'll have a really good championship position at the end of it.
Yeah, as you can see there, top of the hour for the pit lane to open, as we saw Franco and Chini Loris come in, having done another lap out there, and I'm pretty sure they thought it was exactly the same as the previous laps they've done. We've been chatting here without seeing a wheel turn for about an hour and 40 minutes or so. Of course, it hasn't been like this all weekend. There are the fans just pulling together. They're actually having a
great time.
Lovely time, haven't they?
One thing I'd like to add, I thought Aleix offering up a full set of kit to get more followers. I was thinking, my Twitter followers have about 1,000 followers at the moment. So if I could get it to 110,000,
what are you going to give away?
I was thinking of giving away my socks at the end of today.
I think you might lose followers.
So I'm just going to put that out there. If any one fancies a really unique prize, I might sign them as well. So
that's great. Oh, look, Fabio, that's what Fabio thinks of that.
Fabio's keen. Silvan, have you been working on your skipping? Because at the last round, not only did you let yourself down, you let the whole BT team. You'd said how easy the skipping looked.
I'll tell you how far it's gone. I've got a rope now. I've got a skipping rope. I'm ready for it, and I've been watching YouTube videos. But I've not started the training. But it's coming. And you're going to be impressed.
We'll wait for that. I mean, obviously, we're tremendously excited about watching Silvan skipping, as indeed, look, is Fabio. It's very thrilled.
What are you thinking about the skipping session?
It hasn't been like, oh, look, there they go, look, they're loving it out there, Fabio fans. And it's great, actually, isn't it? Look at that, the next goat. He loves it. How lovely is this? We've got a world champion who's such a wonderful, emotive, emotional, personable human being who's, you know, he's loving, he's embracing being the world champion. And he loves the crowd, he loves the fans, he engages, and it's not fake. There's nothing scripted here.
No, he's not a robot,
PR.
Is he?
No,
he's not one of them PR boring, like, tell us something we don't know, you know. He wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he, as well? A little bit like Aleix. He's up and down with it. You know how he's feeling, don't you? There's no surprises with him, as in, if he's feeling down, you know about it. If he's happy, you can tell.
The stardom suits him. It's like the more famous and the more successful he's been,
the
more his character is coming out, and the nicer lad he is. I mean, it's nice to see. He's embracing it.
The hair's getting whiter. The clothes are getting more flamboyant. We love it, don't we?
Yeah, the clothes are definitely more and more Gucci-esque.
Highlights, though, are the way forward. I think if you want to be a really fast motorcycle racer, you've got to embrace the highlights.
Chantra had highlights.
Chantra, did you see that?
He just won.
I think the shaman has made you go back in time. That's what's occurred. She's put the wrong hex on this.
I'm going to be cursed, aren't I, tonight? I'll get back to my room.
I think we all will.
Then I'm going to be a little bit scared because the shaman's going to hunt me down.
You can only hope. Scenes here, if you're just tuning in, we are delayed at the Indonesian Grand Prix here in Lombok. The rain is falling still, as it has been for the last hour and 45 minutes, I would say. We had a big storm here and too much standing water on the circuit to even consider starting. The pit lane is supposed to open on the hour. We wait to see if that is actually going to happen. Of course, it hasn't been like this all weekend. I mean, on Wednesday we arrived, glorious conditions. And as you'll probably know if you've been listening, Gavin, unfortunately, during the week tested positive for COVID, so he's had to stay behind, originally in Leeds. Today he's got a negative test, so he's gone down to London. So you've been hearing his dulcets from London. But Neil thought he'd send a digital postcard just to show Gav that he wasn't really missing out on anything.
Now then, mate, how you doing? You all right?
Now then, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Hey, we've all been worried about you. What's the situation?
Testing negative pretty much now, so that's all good.
Yeah, no, that's good.
What's it like then?
What's it like here? Oh, mate, honestly, you know how long the Indonesians have been waiting for a GP. The fans already, I have never, in all the years I've been involved, seen anything like it. Even arriving at the airport, there's thousands of people, the enthusiasm, and they are so friendly. Did you see in Jakarta?
Oh, it looked amazing. It looked ridiculous, really.
And it's not just that, it's all the fans that were there. The riders were being mobbed.
Absolutely wild, yeah. Oh, Marquez doing a burnout.
they're just that sort of up for it and enthusiastic. It's so nice to see.
What's the track like then, anyway?
What you can't believe is the track temperature, 67 degrees. Now, I've never seen a track temperature like that. And you can feel it when you're standing there. It just bounces up in your face. For the riders, it's going to be pretty tricky.
Ooh, that's too hot for me. That's far too hot. You've been busy then?
Yeah, I've been flat out. Usual interviews at the track most of the time. Not really. I was hoping I'd get a chance to really enjoy the island and, you know, see some of the sights, but...
Yeah, it's weird not being there, I have to say.
Mate, I am missing you so much. Think about this. It's the first one you've ever missed. Like, from day one when BT first started back in 2014, we've been at them all, so...
But you're having fun there.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same without you. Not at all. No. I mean, I get on with people, as you know, in the team, but...
Yeah, sure.
My wingman, you know, without having you by my side, I feel a little bit lost. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying it at all. But a little bit, I don't know, it's all work and no play. You know what it's like. Well, you know better than anyone. You've done this job. Oh.
What's that? Is that a cockroach?
Yeah, that's what it's like out here, mate. It's a bit rural. Loving it, though. Look, I am going to have to go. Seriously, I've got to get my passes sorted out. So, all right, listen, I'm going.
Yep, OK, mate. Yep, I'll...
See ya, I'm going. Bye.
Chat later, chat later. All right, yeah, see you later.
Susie! Come on! That's all right! Don't worry about it! Yes!
You can say what you want about Neil Hodgson, but he never, ever overacts.
I didn't know it was skins till I got in the water.
Skins?
Skins.
Yeah.
You lot don't mess about.
Yeah. And you got a 4-hour holiday. You're going to make the most of it, aren't you?
No white marks. Oh, we have some fun, don't we?
I think Gavin's probably laughing at us now in his warm London studio. Yeah, shots of Enea Bastianini, our championship leader, as things stand after one round. He's going to be going from the second row of the grid, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Still thundering. It's still bouncing around.
It looks brighter, though. I genuinely...
It does look brighter.
Yeah, it looks brighter. That's the first time. Like, it's stayed the same for the last hour and a half, but it's definitely getting brighter, so it's passing through.
I suppose really the question is, if it stops, can they clear the track? That's what we've got to hope, that they've got machines and they've got dryers and things to do that.
It's possible. It also depends, because it's quite flat, it depends how wet and flooded the side of the tracks are, because if they throw the water out and it comes back in, then it's a bit pointless.
Well, I mean, even with the little...
Somebody said they got machines. I actually seen the machines. They're like, they've got 3 machines going one after another. They're using it for cleaning the track.
Yeah.
And I think they can use that to
dry it as
push
well.
the water away.
Yeah, because there was only a little bit of rain in the car park this morning and somebody managed to get the car stuck.
Oh, well embarrassing. Is it the first time I've ever drove you in as well, Susie?
I think it might be, yeah. Because normally get our designated driver, Gavin.
Yeah. There's one thing we've learned. If there's a spot that looks closer than anywhere else towards where the paddock is, but no one's taken it, and it does look a little bit muddy, there's a reason why no one's parked in it. And we found that out, didn't we?
We certainly did. We needed some strong men to help us. And talking of strong men, Wilco Zeelenberg is down there with Nat.
Wilco, we're all waiting patiently to see what's going to happen, whether the race is going to happen or not. Also hearing down here that if it does get cancelled, we could race tomorrow. What are you being told? Is that how you understand the rule?
Well, I actually don't want to think about that. You know, we are ready to race, and I hope that we are able to race today. You know, it should stop raining, and for sure there is too much water now. But yeah, you know, when it's dark, we cannot ride anymore. But I did not hear anything from riding on Monday or Tuesday. I have to say, you know, Argentina is also coming up soon. So for me, we race today or not.
What are the riders saying to you? How are they feeling?
Yeah, the same. So, you know, they prepared for today's race, and if it's wet or dry, that's not a big issue. But yeah, to wait again, to go back to the hotel that we already have been checking out, and our flights are, of course, gone for tonight. This is not ideal. And we have 21 races, so if it's one less, it's one less. You know, safety first. And if you're not able to race, so be it. You know, for the fans, of course, it would be a drama. But yeah, when the water is so high, you cannot ride, you cannot race. You just can follow each other.
I imagine if we do go racing, Dovi's experience will play a huge part in that. How is Darren about it? Is he speaking to Andrea about it?
Yeah, of course, in the rain condition, yeah, it's difficult for everybody. So it also depending on what the rest is doing. I just wanted to say it's nice that there are no noise because we can have a good interview, but yeah, it's already too late. So yeah, it makes fortunes. Of course, it's nice that we have a guy with experience and one without, but the result doesn't count for that. You know, everything can happen in the race.
And it is a new team, of course, with Andrea and Darren. It's only been one race, of course, and a couple of days here in Indonesia, but how would you evaluate things at the moment?
No, of course, result-wise, we were expecting a bit better from Andrea and himself as well. Qatar was a difficult one anyway for every Yamaha rider. We expected a better race here, and yeah, with Fabio on pole and also Andrea feeling better, we expected a better result. But yeah, so far the team is working very well, and we are anyway enthusiastic, and we still have fun, even then we want to have better results.
I appreciate your time, Wilco.
Thank you very much.
Well, as you saw there, they've fired up the marching band, sent them out into the rain to entertain the crowd.
I've got a feeling Wilco definitely not want to race tomorrow, does he?
He's not having it.
He don't want to open the wallet.
He's checked out the hotel. But the logistics, so let's just think about this.
Imagine.
The logistics.
The money for a team.
You're financially, and don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure that you will be probably refunded by Dorna because it'll be their call if we continue and race tomorrow. But the logistics of how difficult it is to get here, it's 3 flights, like I mentioned earlier, and also the fact that you've got all that freight, and that's got to get literally to the other side of the world, to Argentina, and that's got to be prepared. So I can't see them going on till tomorrow.
What about that RNF team? What do you make of the setup there, Michael? Obviously, with Petronas pulling out last year, everything's been completely rejigged. Wilco, we're seeing him, you know, in that garage. How do you think they're going to fare?
Obviously, that team didn't know how lucky they were to have Fabio Quartararo and Franco Morbidelli. Whenever they arrived in the MotoGP scene, they by round 2 they were both in the front row of the grid. So they went through that purple patch and it seemed like MotoGP was easy, but now they're going to have to do the hard yards. They've got Dovi, they've got a factory bike, then they've got a rookie in Darren Binder. And I think that they will do a good job, but it's going to be a lot tougher, especially because of the nature of MotoGP now. The top 10 are all so fast, it's going to be hard for Dovi on the Yamaha, I believe, to be in there battling for podiums as the team would possibly expect. But they have kept a lot of the personnel that were there in the past, so Johan Stigefeld's no longer involved with that outfit, but Razlan Razali's there, Wilco Zeelenberg's the team manager, a lot of the mechanics, the staff, the technicians are all still there, the Yamaha support's still very strong, so I think they will do a good job, but replicating what they did in the rookie season with Fabio and Franco, it was almost, we knew at the time it was a bit special, but it's unheard of, and for a private team to be at that level, I think they'll struggle to replicate those results.
Everybody had an eyebrow raised, didn't they, when Darren Binder was fast-tracked from Moto3 to MotoGP, and a lot of people said he hadn't had good enough results, he didn't deserve that ride, but in Qatar and all the sessions that we've seen, you can't say that now, can you?
No, he's done great in Qatar. Great first rookie race. He was fighting with Raul Fernandez and Remy Gardner for the best rookie of the race. I mean, he really impressed me. Coming up from Moto3 with not real Moto3 pedigree. I mean, he was fast in Moto3. He's done some great races, but there was nothing out there. He wasn't the best rider in Moto3, so you'd think this is maybe a big stretch, and it is. It's a massive stretch. So he's done really, really well in Qatar, and he's embracing the opportunity. So far, he's not made many mistakes. I mean, he's doing great.
Well, that looks like a good sight. It looks a little brighter over there. Nat's in my ear saying it's definitely eased in the pit lane behind us. It looks pretty similar to how it has been. But the pit lane looks like it is going to open at 8 o'clock UK time, 4 o'clock here. So it looks like we're going to have a race 15 minutes after that. Keep everything crossed. And if you've got one of those bowls, just to go round the edge of it with your finger, and we should be fine. Let's take a short break. We'll be back in a few minutes' time.
Swinton Bike and Multi-Bike Insurance sponsors Motogp on BT Sport.
We the Hornets.
Jürgen, we're coming. This is Anfield. There's the shot! What about that?
You don't want this.
That is brilliant!
Replay on BT Sport.
Like that.
It's Liverpool.
Watford on BT Sport.
MotoGP 22 is going. Oh,
Wow, what a race.
Incredible! He's gone down! Oh, have you ever seen anything like that?
and the beast has done it.
Amazing, astounding, marvelous, astonishing, phenomenal, breathtaking, smashing, superb, fabulous, fantastic, tremendous, wondrous, monumental, mind-blowing, terrific, radical, colossal, dynamite, staggering.
The most stupendous two-night WrestleMania in history.
Stupendous!
The big cheer you just heard was for confirmation of the goal. 308th for Real Madrid. Celebrations all over the place. And they're on the move again. Marquinhos with more defending. Oh, he done it! Karim Benzema again! It's a hat-trick! Straight from the kick-off and scored another one! What a story! What a night!
Will we see enchanting cricket? You betcha.
My word, what a weekend in the Gallagher Premiership here on BT Sport.
This is where we belong.
Absolutely stacked with talent.
Come on, Gloucester.
Lovely play. Fernando bowling over the line. Lots of live games happening. Tries being scored all over the shop. What's a finish?
Oh, that's brilliant. Gallagher Premiership on BT Sport.
This is where we belong.
This is your reward. Sport in all its magnificence.
The Tyson Fury Bop-It Punch Bag.
Say that, Gypsy King!
It doesn't matter how many times you put him down, he just keeps getting up again.
Feel the fury.
And now available with Trash Talk mode.
Oi, you big dosser.
The Tyson Fury Bop-It Punch Bag. It's knockout fun.
Feel the fury.
BT Sport box office cannot guarantee Tyson Fury will get back up during Fury Wide live from Wembley Stadium on the 23rd of April. Terms and conditions apply.
Swinton Bike and Multi-Bike Insurance sponsors Motogp on BT Sport.
Welcome back if you are still with us, but look at this big news here. We are going racing. And also...
Gabby Dozy. I can't believe it. I didn't think we were going to. I genuinely didn't think we were going to get a race
Do you know why? It worked. The shaman, she stopped it raining.
What? No, we've had a shower that's gone through. It's been a 3-hour rainstorm.
She came out 5 minutes ago and it stopped raining.
Absolute. No, she ain't getting paid.
She's totally getting paid. Here we go. We have got a MotoGP, and after 25 years, we'll have an Indonesian Grand Prix. The rain is now very, very light behind us. Just a few spots still coming down. But the big news is they're able to get out there and clean the track. And it looks like they've got some really good kit. There you go. Busy pit lane. That's what we like to see. Everybody getting ready. The hustle and the bustle of MotoGP is upon us here in Lombok. And we can't wait to get this race. They've been amazing. They've been absolutely magical, the crowd. They've been singing. They've been on their feet. They've been cheering the riders. They've been holding signs up to Fabio Quartararo. It has been quite extraordinary, hasn't it? Just how motivated. They knew that the shaman was going to make it stop raining, Michael.
It is a cultural thing here. They put a lot of emphasis behind it. So she seemed more famous than Mario Aggi. Whenever she went out there, the crowd were cheering and singing along with her. So there are supposedly 60,000 fans here today. So I'm so happy that we are actually going to see that race happen. They're out there, they're cleaning the track, they've got the brushes out there, and fingers crossed, it does look like the rain's completely relenting now. There's a few drops just falling. So everyone, as we talked about earlier, the riders, Fabio's got to go get back in his leathers. He's got to refuel, he's got to eat, he's got to get back into the mindset of going racing here, when a lot of people would have been like us, thinking that's it for today.
Yeah, it's amazing actually how it's just suddenly stopped. The heat is already coming back up again. That will help the clearing of the track. Jorge Martin, who's looking at shops in the Pramac garage, he's going the front row of the grid, and it looks like out there they've got some good kit to clear the track. It looks like they've got some machinery, as Aleix was talking about, that remove the water, and they've got the old brushes, of course, that you need as well, just to clear away those final bits.
Yeah, it looked like something that I've never seen before, like some sort of suction device, which is a great idea, isn't it? To try and, in the areas where there is clearly going to be some standing water, if you can just eliminate that straight away, because the brushes work. The problem with the brushes is the fact that where do you brush it? You brush it into the gravel traps that are flooded, so it keeps coming back. So
yeah, they were literally sucking off the water of the track directly into those trucks. I mean, I've never seen that in my life.
And I'd assume then they would drive the trucks elsewhere to
unload it.
Yeah, to unload it. So yeah, well, it's working. I mean, you would have to have a device like that if you build a circuit in Indonesia and you're going to race during the rainy seasons. You need that sort of equipment.
Fair play to them, though. I mean, that's a great effort, because the track 1 hour ago was absolutely flooded. There must have been, we've not seen too many.
It was what?
It was flooded.
Flooded.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought you said floated.
Flooded. And it was wet as a notice pocket. Unbelievable. In an hour's time, they removed 5 centimeters of water. Unreal. I've never seen that in my life.
I'm so sorry, we've been talking for 2 hours and someone is just peaking now.
I love animals.
Have you had a drink of water at any point today? Are you getting slightly dehydrated now?
These are great scenes, though, aren't they, Michael, as the boys are getting ready to go out. Jorge Martin and the shots of Alex Rins. We know Alex really will be happy about these conditions, because as much as they clear the track, it's not going to be dry.
No, we're going to see a wet race 100%. We heard earlier that it's going to be that soft, wet rear tyre in there, so there's no questions on that. It's going to be a shortened race as well, and it is that the opportunity for the likes of Dovey, who's good in the wet, for Jack Miller, the likes of the Aprilias. Joan Mir will be happy, because he said today if it was a dry race and he rode how he rode all weekend, he was going to crash, because he said he just didn't have the pace. He said the only opportunity he had to score good points was going to be if it rained. So he got his wish, probably more rain than he was wishing for, but in the end the clouds have abated, and we're going to get that opportunity for all these boys to get out there.
Here's your heli shot then. Wow, it just looks like a different place, doesn't it? It's extraordinary what a difference a few moments make. And a shame that the band's fired up. We can hear them behind us now. Here's your poleman, though, Fabio Quartararo, quickly back into his leathers and raring to go. Now, he's not going to be too happy about the conditions, but if they can clear that track a lot, maybe he can get a result here.
Yes, and obviously he's not super happy, because he was so confident in the dry. But let's remember that last year, where, for me, in my opinion, where he really made the difference, and where he really shone, and where he really showed that he was a contender for the championship, is on these difficult moments. Last year in Le Mans, when it rained, everybody was thinking, oh, the V4 is going to be in front, and it's going to be so hard for Fabio and the rest of the foreign lines. And Fabio made it to the podium. And this is moments like this that define his world title. So today, I think, he's still smiling. We've seen him in the garage, relaxed as ever. And you never know, he's the champ, and he knows it.
What are your thoughts, Michael? Because we've talked about the fact that Suzuki are going to be happier, Honda are going to be happier with these slightly wetter conditions. How will Ducati be feeling?
Yeah, Ducati always works in the wet. Pecco Bagnaia definitely upped his game in the wet throughout last season, but looking at the front row of the grid, I think Johan Zarco for me is the dark horse. He was so strong last season in Le Mans. Sylvain talked about it earlier as he brought the fight to Jack Miller actually in the last few laps. So I think he'll be feeling confident of the opportunity for him. His first ever MotoGP victory is there. He can taste it. So yeah, they typically do start well, although it was a bit of a disaster in Qatar. So if they seem to, in the practice start scenario yesterday we had in free practice 3, they've confident they rectified that problem in Qatar. So jumping off the line, beating Fabio to turn 1, it could well be a Ducati lockout with those two in the front row, Pecco just behind, Jack coming strong as well. Is Jack on the second or third row? Yeah, third row actually in the end, so he'll come through strong. So I think Ducati's, they've got strength in numbers. I'm forgetting about the VR46 duo, because both Bezzecchi and Marini this weekend have been really on form, and they're up there on the grid as well, so they've both got a perfect opportunity.
And Bezzecchi was actually, as a rookie, for his first time in the wet in Sepang, at the test in Sepang, we had some showers, and almost all riders went out in the wet, was actually really fast. So Bezzecchi, we don't know how fast he is or not. These guys, are rookies. The Tech 3 boys as well. They're in with a chance, and they're gonna see this race and these changing conditions as an opportunity.
A little bit of a lottery, really, going out there. We can see the track conditions now. What are you thinking? How do you feel about it?
It's much better than I thought it would be. I mean, remember an hour ago we had that shot with that pace car going through the track, and it looked like you needed a jet ski to get around there. And now the track just looks a bit wet. There's no standing water on the straight line there, and that's the pit exit. But there didn't seem to be too much water on the track.
No, but interestingly, everyone using this 5-minute window to go out there and do a couple of laps. They're sussing out the conditions, seeing where the standing water is. One lap is the typical scenario: you go out there and scrub your tires and pull up on the grid. But everyone going down pit lane, going for another look, another sight lap.
You are allowed to do that, because as long as the pit lane is open, you can get through the pit lane and get another lap quickly.
Absolutely. Is one of the problems going to be visibility here in terms of there is some standing water out there, but spray, misting up, those kinds of things?
Yeah, spray is always a big issue, especially that opening lap. It happens actually quite bad on long straights. Whenever these bikes get up to speed, they put off so much water off that rear tyre. Luckily here it's a little bit more flowing. You've just got that run down to turn 10. I think on lap 1 visibility will be poor, so these riders are all well experienced, well versed in those conditions, so they know to not do anything too daft on that opening lap. But visibility, as you mentioned, you see Fabio getting his helmet cleaned. Quite a lot of the time the riders go round to the grid in one helmet, they'll take it off and they'll actually put on a dry helmet for the race, because even lifting the visor up, letting a few drops of water in there, that can actually ruin your race.
Yeah, Fabio not smiling so much as he was earlier, but as we know,
but he's concentrating now. Obviously, you need the stress is at high level now. He knows, he knows he's going to be there's going to be some trouble. They're going to come for him. So yeah, he's concentrating hard now.
He's surrounded, isn't he, by Ducatis and the KTM behind him of Brad Binder as well, who he needs to get a good start here. We know he's a Sunday man.
Yeah, Binder always so dangerous on a Sunday, and Binder is very, very good in low grip conditions. This is how he got his first win, and we can expect to see him up there as well.
It's incredible to think that just really a handful of minutes ago we were talking about possibly not getting a race, and now they're on the grid. I mean, you have to praise the circuit, the workers and the organisers. You saw Mike Trimley standing down there talking to the Dorna boys, making the decisions, and here we go, they've made it happen. Of course, it was down to the shaman, but they've got everybody organised. The protocol has worked very well, and we're now looking at our winner from Qatar, Enea Bastianini in the Gresini team, that highly charged, emotional victory, and he goes from the second row, Michael.
Yeah, Enea's a good wet weather rider as well. Not his forte, but he will be strong. And again, I honestly think Enea's looking at this season as he has a chance everywhere, so he'll be just going out there looking for solid points. Another strong qualifying from him this weekend. It seems like that GP21, he's just right at home within that team on that bike. So knowing the Ducati works well in the rain, he just needs to look for a top 6, top 7 result, and he'd be happy with that.
Yeah, between Binder and Bagnaia as the grid goes through. Miguel Oliveira heading the third row with Alex Rins, who'll be relishing these conditions, as indeed will Jack Miller, Alicia Spargaro from 10th, Fabio Di Gianantonio in 11th, and Luca Marini in 12th. It's really the back end of the grid that's got some surprises this week. As you Pole Spargaro, who went so well in Qatar, he's in 15th. Andrea Dovizioso in 16th. Joan Mir in 17th. And of course the Hondas struggling back here. Mark was in the second half of the grid. But he's not riding. If you're just tuning in, he is injured. He had a massive high side this morning and he has concussion, and we await to find out if there are anything else, any other injuries. That's the president of Indonesia. As we go down to Natalie, who is speaking to Piero Terramasso from Michelin.
Well, Piero, we've not had these conditions all weekend, a wet race. How confident are you with the tyres that you have here?
Yeah, we work for dry condition all weekend, and now it's wet. And the best solution is medium front and medium rear. This is the more consistent, and because the track temperature is quite high, is around 25, 26. With the medium, you avoid to overheat on the right side of the rear tire. So I think full grid they will be with this solution.
Thanks, Piero.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, they've had a lot of work to do, haven't they, Michael? What did you think of what he said there?
Well, interesting, when we heard from Lucio Cecchinello earlier, he was suggesting the soft tyre would be the go in the wet conditions. So even though it's a shorter race, Piero thinking they're going to go with that medium option because of the temperature that builds on the right side of the tyre.
Yeah, with those tyres, what happens if there is not a lot of standing water, and if the track, especially if the track has grip, which it seems like it does here, you do get tyres overheating, and they start to drop in performance. With the medium tyres, which are a little bit stronger, they resist better to the abuse. They resist also a lot better to drying track. I mean, you never know, you might get, if it stops raining completely with the bikes going around, you might get a little bit of a line towards the end of the race. And the medium front as well gives more braking stability. So as long as you're not struggling with the actual grip of the tarmac, which they're not here because it's pretty new, it's very abrasive, the medium tyre will hold on better for the race.
Miguel Oliveira heading the third row of the grid, and let's not underestimate what the riders have ahead of them, Michael, here. They haven't been able to test these conditions at all. They've had no wet practice. MotoGP, there was that one session, but it